An elderly 78-year-old man has just gotten into his own vehicle, parked partly on the sidewalk. The engine is already running as he makes a few final adjustments before pulling away. At that moment, another car enters the frame and brakes sharply right beside him. A door opens, and a man steps out holding what appears to be a weapon, making demands for the vehicle. But the elderly man seems to have noticed the suspicious movement. As soon as the demand is made, he reacts immediately. Shots are fired, and the attempt is stopped. Then the elderly man gets out of the car and fires again toward the vehicle that had been providing support. That support car accelerates away, leaving the man on the ground. A green Jeep stops at a red light, waiting for the signal to change. Then a man appears. He's not a street vendor, and he's not working the intersection. He leans his face close to the window, as if trying to see inside. Next, he moves to the driver's side and pulls out what appears to be a gun from his waistband. He strikes the window with it and orders the driver to get out, applying heavy pressure. But the driver reacts before the man realizes what's happening. When the shot is heard, the man takes off running, yet he doesn't get far and goes down a few meters ahead. 4 men walk straight up to a black car that stopped, with the driver nearby. The threat is immediate. They want the vehicle. The driver doesn't argue. He hands over the keys and steps away. The 4 get in, 1 takes the driver's seat, and 3 move to the back. They start the car and prepare to pull off, and then shots are heard. The 3 in the back manage to jump out and run away. The man in the driver's seat isn't as lucky. Watch this red luxury car pull partly onto the sidewalk to park. The driver doesn't notice, but 2 riders on motorcycles have been following. One gets off while the other stays nearby, providing cover. The man walks up and makes demands for the vehicle. From another angle, the driver steps out, raises his hands as if complying. The 2 hesitate for a moment as if they've noticed something, and that's when the driver draws a gun and fires. The pair escapes on the motorcycles, abandoning the attempt. It's already night, and 2 men approach a parked car on a busy street. They don't waste time. They look confident it will work. One of them tries to force the door. The driver realizes what's happening and responds by firing, forcing the pair to run. The driver steps out cautiously, watches closely, and sees the men get into another vehicle and flee. He then stays low beside his own car, keeping an eye on the surroundings. It's almost 9 p.m., and there are still people out on the street, including a delivery rider who has just finished a drop-off. A car pulls up, and the occupants start getting out with their belongings. The street looks calm. Some head toward a building entrance. Others get back into the car, ready to drive off. Then a motorcycle with 2 riders pulls up beside the driver and makes demands. A passenger still inside the car reacts, and the 2 panic. One of them falls off the motorcycle, gets back up, and runs. The other speeds away on the bike, leaving his partner behind. After a tiring day, a driver pulls into his garage. The gate is closing. Everything looks normal. Then 3 men appear, hold the gate, and rush into the garage, moving straight toward the driver's door. As soon as the door opens, the driver reacts quickly. The 3 immediately back off and run off in different directions. The driver keeps watching the movement, then returns to his car and heads back toward the garage entrance, now sure they've left the area. At a gas station, a car is being refueled. A motorcycle approaches, and the attendant immediately watches with suspicion.
The man stops near the vehicle, reaches to his waist, and pulls out what appears to be a gun. The attendant steps back, and the demand is made. The driver reacts quickly. The man drops what he was holding and tries to speed off, but he loses control, skids, falls, and doesn't get far. The driver moves in carefully, keeps the situation under control, and calls for medical help for the man who was injured.
A man in a white shirt walks up to a parked car. He leans down as if to speak to the driver, and it quickly becomes clear it's an attempted confrontation. He pulls what appears to be a gun from a bag, points it at the driver, and pressures her to get out. Suddenly, he notices something, hesitates, and seems unsure whether to continue. Then he runs off, nearly stumbling, and the reason becomes clear. A nearby police officer has spotted what's happening and steps in, preventing it from going any further. A family has just parked and is still getting out of the car. Two men approach, and the suspicion becomes certain. They make demands and attempt to take control. They demand the keys, grab a bag, and order a man to step out of the vehicle. As they prepare to leave, the man moves closer to a utility pole, draws a gun, and reacts. The pair runs. One manages to get away. The other goes down a short distance ahead due to injuries and ends up on the sidewalk.
Heavy traffic during rush hour. The light turns red and a line of cars forms. Focus on the last car in the queue. A motorcycle with two riders pulls up beside the driver and the demand is made. But the driver reacts, something the two didn't expect. They can't get away and end up only a few meters from the scene. A woman arrives at her building's garage entrance, tired and just wanting to get inside. Before the gate even opens, a motorcycle with two riders approaches. The passenger jumps off, goes straight to the driver, and makes demands. The woman throws the car into reverse. The man loses his balance and falls. She accelerates and drives away. The man runs back to the motorcycle, and the two take off.
A family parks in front of their home. At the same time, a motorcycle with two riders passes by. The woman heads to the gate while the driver opens the trunk. Someone walks down the street. Everything looks normal. Until the motorcycle returns, stops beside the car, and the demand is made. The driver runs, draws a gun, and reacts. The rider speeds off, leaving his partner behind. The man tries to continue, then attempts to flee, but he doesn't get far. A residential security camera shows a car pulling up. A passenger gets out and walks toward the gate. At the same time, another vehicle drives by and stops farther ahead. It's not part of the same group. A rear door opens and a man jumps out running, pointing a gun and making demands at the driver. The driver reacts before the man can fully close the distance. The support vehicle speeds off, leaving him behind. The man is hit and can't get away.
A car has just parked, and a motorcycle with two men rides past. They spot an opportunity, reach the end of the street, and come back. They pull alongside. The passenger gets off, opens the car door, and orders the driver out. She steps out quickly, without hesitation. The rider takes off, leaving his partner in the car, ready to drive away. But another driver notices everything, pulls up beside them, and disrupts the escape. The man still tries to get away, but loses control a short distance ahead and crashes into a gate. Emergency services are called, and the death is confirmed when help arrives. Nighttime. A road with little traffic. In the distance, a car approaches with its headlights on. The driver has no idea what's ahead. A motorcycle appears, and right behind it, another bike with two riders. The passenger, holding what appears to be a gun, points it and orders the car to stop, even as it's coming from the opposite direction. The driver doesn't comply, accelerates, and manages to escape the attempt.
Two cars enter a garage, but they're not together. The one in front belongs to the resident, the one behind belongs to criminals trying to take the vehicle. Two men rush toward the resident's car. The driver notices in the rearview mirror, draws a gun, and fires. The criminals retreat, and the driver even steps out and fires again as they flee.
Notice this car stopped with its doors open. Up ahead, another vehicle passes slowly and pulls over. A door opens and a man steps out holding what appears to be a gun, heading toward the stopped car. The driver doesn't wait for him to get closer and reacts immediately. The support vehicle speeds away, and according to reports, it is caught minutes later by the driver. The armed man does not survive.
A residential street with normal activity, bicycles, cars, pedestrians, and in the middle of it, three men acting suspiciously. Two stay on one side, while a man dressed in black stands on the other. When he sees his target approaching, he steps into the road, points a gun, and orders the driver to stop. The driver doesn't comply and accelerates. The man is knocked down and falls onto the sidewalk some distance away. The driver continues and disappears from view. The others run over to help, struggle briefly, but manage to leave the area afterward.
Repare nesse carro parado com portas abertas. Mais à frente, um veículo passa devagar e para. Uma porta se abre, desce um homem com arma em punho indo na direção do carro parado. O motorista não espera a aproximação e reage. O carro que dava cobertura foge, e depois é alcançado minutos mais tarde pelo motorista, segundo as informações. O homem que desceu armado não resiste.